welcome to the Capricorn new moon activation for January 2016. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, we have a lot of Capricorn energy going on right now. So let's talk a little bit about Capricorn, because we have, of course, on the new moon, it means the sun and the moon are in the sign. But in this case, they're also just crossed over Pluto in Capricorn. And so huge activation of Pluto in Capricorn, which also means an activation of Uranus and Aries. And this is the last month of these planets in a close square. It's the end of this one part of the cycle and the beginning of the next of this transition phase as we move from the cardinal cross of that. The Pluto and Uranus are in cardinal signs, and now the squares of 2016 are all happening in mutable signs. And so what we're feeling right now, though, is all this Capricorn energy. And Capricorn is the sign of our authority. It's a sign of our laws, of rules, authority, structure on that level of our reality. And it's really powerful, because that's exactly what this time on the planet is all about, is reviewing, renewing our contracts around authority. And so for us individually, this is anywhere we give our authority away, and finding our own authority. The way we find our own spiritual authority is finding that solid ground, something that we know to be true. And so in this year of 2016, we're sorting through a lot of illusions and delusions, but this starting out very powerful Capricorn energy and triggering Pluto is saying that Pluto, the dissolver, the breaker down, the depths, the shadow, is saying that we do need to break down. There's no avoiding the authoritarian structures in our life. And so this is at the counterpart, building a new reality that supports us in the truth of who we really are. That's the Uranus and Aries, our identity revolution, realizing that we're part of this cosmic whole, this part of this bigger experience, and coming out of the illusion of separateness. So we have a new cosmological identity kicking into gear with that Uranus and Aries and Pluto in Capricorn. And this is the very last square. So as they move out of the squares, that's when we start to really see the effect of the last 3 or 4 years of astrology. So 2016 is really mysterious, we could say, about all these things that could happen. But one thing I know for sure is that's to expect the unexpected, because with all of these squaring planets in mutable signs, the mutable signs are the changing signs. And so it's kind of about what is real. And so we have that a Saturn Neptune transit that's really big for this whole year and happened in 2015 as well. And so it's like, what's real? What is the truth? What are the delusions? And what's the reality? And in this case right now, we're examining the authoritarian structures and where do we give our power away in our life. And so we're feeling this really strongly, this desire to create more better structures, or to get rid of what's not serving us in the truth of who we really are. And so the sun and the moon, and then Mercury is in Capricorn as well in this retrograde. So there's 4 Mercury retrogrades this year. Really important to pay attention to these, because the energy is different from what you would normally feel in Mercury retrograde. It's a reset, because we have so much mutable energy, so much changeable energy, so much shifting going on. The Mercury retrogrades are a time to stop, review what's happened, and synthesize the information from the last period of time in between the retrogrades, and reset to be able to move to the next phase. So this month of January is the very first Mercury retrograde of 2016, and that goes until January 25th. Now, but Mercury doesn't come out of the shadow of retrograde, meaning it returns to its pre-retrograde position, which was 1 degree Aquarius, until the middle of the month. And that happens right of February. And so not until the middle of February will we really be coming out of this Mercury retrograde and feeling like starting to understand. We're also feeling Jupiter went retrograde at the beginning of this month as well. And so the Jupiter is our planet of expansion, and it's in the sign of Virgo. And so we're getting the message here that Jupiter is rethinking its path in Virgo. It's like where Jupiter going retrograde is saying, wait a minute, our expansion, what does this really mean to expand into this Virgo energy? What does this mean as humanity is trying to expand into this? And so the Virgo energy is really powerful this month as Jupiter turned retrograde, but is hanging out there with the North Node. So it's really an interesting energy of push-pull. We're moving into the 2016, but it's a Mercury retrograde. We are moving forward in the North Node and lining up with our destiny, but Jupiter is retrograde. And so this year is a recalibration year, taking everything that's happened, and we're going to continue to get massive upgrades and downloads in our messages from the sun. But 2016 is really a year of assimilation and dissolving and rebuilding in a way that can really support you. And so those Mercury retrogrades all happen in earth signs. And so that's kind of telling us the information that we are trying to gather is about the structures of our life and how they can better support us. And so this first one in Capricorn is really powerful because we're talking about the authoritarian structures. And in this case, we're talking about money structures, political structures. And but the Capricorn energy in our life is about where we, like I said, have given our power away, where we've allowed ourselves to be trampled on, where we need to take our power back. This could be from other individuals or organizations, or just our negative thinking patterns that keep us in a loop of feeling bad about ourselves and not able to move out of the places that we're at. So it's like Capricorn is incredible energy of an opportunity to examine all this, especially with all of these planets here. And so Mercury just so powerfully triggers this at the second part of January. The last 2 weeks of January, Mercury hangs right next to Pluto for about 2 weeks. And because the retrograde takes it just right where it turns direct, just right around where Pluto is. And so the messages of the stars are just so clear, saying that it is time to move forward. We need the information, and we are going to figure it out now. We're going to figure out how. It's clear that we have to break down these structures, and so now we're getting in the information we need of like step by step how to go about it. And the key of that for 2016 is being willing to go with the flow, knowing that this mutable, changeable energy, the year of the monkey that starts in February, is about change and shift and not being attached to the way things are or your belief systems in one certain way, and just being ready to transform and shift and let go of what you thought you knew, because tomorrow it might be different. And so we're getting a nice solid step with this Capricorn energy as so today's activation is about setting into place a platform to help support the experience of this 2016 shifting, the stability of the Capricorn energy, of knowing your truth within. There's a part of you that knows no matter what. And this is also kind of resonant with the Uranus energy that's very much being triggered in with the square in Aries. And so it's our this, we can tap into this childlike innocent self, this part of ourselves that does not change belief systems, that doesn't come and go. And it's this core essence that's also in alignment with the cosmic intelligence. And so this is our opportunity here on this Capricorn new moon, is to set in place a new foundation in our spiritual authority, to prepare ourselves for all the exploration, changes, changing in belief systems, upside down reality, back and forth, that 2016 appears to have for us. And so the activation is going to be a lot about that. Now, there's also some powerful energy going on right now around, it's interesting because Capricorn really has some energy around personal boundaries and having that personal authority. But then we have some other energies that are really striving for connection. Like we have Venus is hanging out with Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, in Sagittarius. But Venus in Sagittarius is much more comfortable, much more, it's got this energy of wanting to connect, wanting to be lively, wanting to be social. And so we've got that going on right there with old man Saturn. And so the goddess is kind of livening this whole thing up and inviting us to bring the mystery of the feminine into this situation, bringing the goddess. Now that's really cool because the intuitive energy of being able to trust your higher knowing, that is really the key of the flexibility we need in this year. So our intuitive faculties are so important in moving into this new age. And so what's happening is Venus is kind of helping us think about this in the sign Saturn. Saturn in the sign of Sagittarius is about our work, duty, what we need to do here, what we need to accomplish. Our get down to reality is about spiritual seeking and the epic journey of discovery. And so the goddess is livening that up and kind of bringing some sweet energy to Saturn there in Sagittarius, kind of being like, hey, let's bring the goddess into this. Let's let our intuition help us in figuring out how to break down all this stuff and rebuild it in a new way. Let's be open to the signs and symbols. And so it's a sweet energy there. A very harmonious energy on this new moon in Capricorn. It's a great start to 2015, even with this powerful square, because the other harmonizing factors, like the triangle energy with Jupiter and the North Node in Virgo, so Earth trine energy, and then we have mutable energy going on, triggered with that Sagittarius, and so we've got the North Node and Jupiter together in Virgo are really speaking to the way forward. And they're very much conjunct throughout the whole month of January, pretty much, very close, dancing around each other as Jupiter goes retrograde. And so it's affording a long kind of a period of time where Jupiter is very close to the North Node, and this influence is really bringing to the foreground the way forward. And so Virgo wants good boundaries too, just like Capricorn. And so we're coming to the reality of things, and we're coming to a place of wanting to hold on to our boundaries and our personal authority. And this is being helped along by the Virgo energy, which wants to discriminate, wants to understand. It's ruled by Mercury, and it wants to be able to really kind of analyze and figure out the truth of things and clean up. And so the path forward for the authoritarian regime change that's trying to happen on the planet and in our own being, as we stop feeding the parasite of control on this planet, that is the Virgo energy is really helping us see the truth from the lies, separate out, and really clean up our lives. And I think what's going to be happening this year for a lot of people is kind of sorting out where you've kind of been feeding the negative energy, feeding the monster, feeding the parasite, and not realizing it, and so it's like gradually, bit by bit, as we take back our own spiritual authority, and we start understanding that we're creating this reality, and we need to first have the shift within. Then we can move the way forward for all of humanity. But we're kind of on the edge of this precipice of big change, but it's up to all of us individually. So it's kind of a weird place, because there's a lot of people feeling kind of impatient. Like, where are these changes? What's going on? I thought we were having a planetary shift, and then feeling like those things aren't happening. But where it's happening is right under our noses, in our own being. And so to make the most of this energy today in the activation, we're going to work on this grounded foundation for the truth of who we really are, our own spiritual authority within, an opportunity to clear ties or break ties with anywhere you've given away your power, and then move into 2016 with a more clear slate. And this energy of Virgo is so powerful to clean up, organize, get the facts straight, and discriminate, let go, simplify your life. This is a really, really awesome energy. So the key to remaking our structures of authority is through simplicity, through cleaning it up, through getting to the core of what really matters and letting go of all this bureaucratic red tape, all these stories of how hard it needs to be and how many loops and holes and hurdles we have to jump over and all that stuff. And so 2016 could be a very grounded year as far as like being able, even though things are just really crazy and changing, it's the energy with the North Node in Jupiter in Virgo is a great impetus to clean up your life. And that can mean karma, that can mean organizing your space, that can be getting focused on the steps forward you want to take. But in that way, this 2016 can be a year, even though there's all this change going on, to lock into place onto the timeline that's most appropriate to you. And so part of the thing we'll be looking at the activation is that as well. Saturn is old father time. And so all this Capricorn energy is saying, we need to examine our relationship to time. Time has really been an authoritarian force in our life. And as we move into these other dimensional frequencies, time doesn't exist in the same way. We need it linear in 3D reality, but we're starting to have a different relationship to it. And so this is really sweet. That Venus is kind of bringing that playful energy right there with Saturn and Sagittarius. Saturn's being willing to go out, and the limiting planet is in the boundless sign of boundlessness. And so our karma, our limitation, our duty is about understanding our boundlessness. And so we can use this energy to basically clean up and find these places in our life that we need to sort out, and it's just going to become more and more clear instead of just a big jumbled mess. We're making order out of chaos in 2016, if that is your intention, and it can really catapult you forward and give you a sense of a new foundation in this new reality, so you can kind of play with the changes and the shifts and have it be an interesting, wonderful, epic adventure rather than a traumatic falling apart of everything in your life. So this is the opportunity available to us in this shift from the astrology of the last few years into this 2016 astrology. And so today in the activation, we're going to look at this opportunity for clearing. What happens when we go back and can get the stories or the places where we've given our power away and understand a little bit clearly, we can collapse all of the timelines of that we're kind of running all these different programs in different dimensional realities. And then we can collapse those timelines into one and be more present here on planet Earth, because we really are being called to be here in our full incarnation and our full self, our full light embodied in this time, because it's so amazing what's happening on the earth right now. And so ups and downs, changes, but a great opportunity today to set a new solid foundation to anchor you throughout all these changes in your own authority. Collapse your timelines, get onto your best 2016 timeline. And so at that, let's just go ahead and move into this activation. The new moon happens exactly at a half an hour into this. And so we're coming up on that mark. And so go ahead and allow yourself to just become comfortable. And we're just going to tap into this Capricorn energy. Our new relationship to time, a new relationship to authority, Mercury, the messenger, finding out what we need to know about this to move forward. Venus bringing a playful reality into this serious Saturn and the serious seeking of Saturn. And Mars and Scorpio is bringing an energy of desire to connect, but also desire to understand and desire to delve into the shadows and understand all of the parts of our consciousness. And so it's an interesting time of boundaries and also boundlessness. And how do we manage our boundlessness in this world? We're all connected, we're all one, we're all part of the same personality, and yet how do we have boundaries to have that individual autonomy? So that's what Capricorn is really about. And so just use a solid foundation. Feel yourself just really connected to Mother Earth. Let this earth energy reach up to meet you, to greet you, to hold you. as you just sink into this trust. The earth signs can give us a feeling of groundedness and stability if we can take advantage of the energies available. And in this case, the stability comes in having a sense of what's really true, of having a sense of our own spiritual authority that nobody can take away. And it's a lot to go up against in this world, to hold what's true for you against the belief systems of everyone around you. And so this is an opportunity to just come completely into your own autonomy. So just feel yourself as the trunk of the tree growing on Mother Earth. Let's just move into this material energy, this wood, this roots, this connection, and feel yourself as that tree trunk reaching up above to the cosmic forces, receiving the light rays from the sun, the messages, but also reaching those roots deep down into Mother Earth, finding a level of stability that you can anchor yourself to in the coming months of confusion and chaos. And sometimes when things are at their most confusing and chaotic, that's when you actually get the true direction. You know, it's almost like you're moving around and there's a field that disrupts the needle going to north. You don't know where it is in the chaos, but then it finds a new direction. And this is what we're doing right now. And so that new direction is stronger than where you were going in the past. It's magnetic and it's pulling you. And so 2016 is a year to get in touch with your destiny, to get your marching orders on the planet, to figure out what you really want to do. This is part of coming into our spiritual authority, into our new identity, and trusting in this. And so it's going to feel a lot better for a lot of people, even though everything's shifting a lot. But if you're one of those light workers waiting around to figure out how to bring forward your gifts, 2016 has these messages. And so that in itself is more solid ground, even though there's all this shifting and changing. When you feel like you're able to really do what you're here to do on the planet and bring forward your gifts, then it makes everything make sense. So this is the foundation of our new spiritual reality, of our groundedness, is this tree that has a certain way it wants to express. And so just feel yourself very strong in your center, reaching up, reaching down, a pillar of strength in your own life. And just feel perhaps on this tree, there's this beautiful knot where a branch used to be, and this is the heart. And you just want to move into this area on the trunk that is your heart, and just feel yourself, the solidness in the heart, the connectedness in the heart. The way we access our heart-centered consciousness is when we're connected to above and below. And so just paying attention to that area of your body near the heart as you reach up and above and below. And just imagine you can breathe these energies into you. You can breathe the sky and the light and Father Sun into your heart. And you can also breathe Mother Earth and stability and the roots and the groundedness into your heart. And so just breathing from above and below into your heart, and just imagine these are spinning around, activating that heart chakra, activating this part of the tree that's ready to become alive and grow a new branch, a new direction based on heart-centered consciousness. And just go ahead and feel that activation happening in the area of your heart. And just notice any sensations or feelings in your body that make you think that interfere, that are triggered by this heart activation. If part of you goes into fear or hesitation or tightening up and tension, there is some energy there that says you don't deserve heart-centered consciousness. You don't deserve that level of peace in your life. You don't deserve that. And this is an addiction to the energies of control, belief systems on our planet that we, when we do set free, we don't know what to do with ourselves. So what we're doing right now is setting up a stable foundation within ourselves to be able to find this new spiritual reality, to be able to find the truth of who we really are, and live from that place. And so this is another way to feel this is the energy of still point, that at the very center of you, there is this still point where everything comes together. This is also the same point on your timeline of conception, when your bodies were all joined together in one spark of light. And let's just tap into that energy, see that spark of light in your heart and move into it. Just moving into the truth of who you really are. We're going to get a sense of these gifts that want to come forward, get a sense of what is the basis of your spiritual authority. So just move into that spark. We're moving into the heart center consciousness, the spark that is you. Just go into the light. And as you move into the light, feel yourself releasing all of the parts of yourself that are on some level, subconsciously or consciously, arguing with this reality that you are light and that you have a special gifts to bring to the earth at this time, special purpose in living. What part of you argues with that? It says, oh, no, you're not good enough. Well, maybe everybody else could go live their dreams, but not you. So find these parts of places in your body. These are representational belief systems that have been instilled or inherited or learned in past lives. And just imagine that you can step into this light and peel all that away. You absolutely deserve, on all levels of your being, this spiritual awakening. It is your birthright. Now just move into the light. And into the light, deep and deeper and deeper, there is a chamber. And in that chamber awaits a manifestation of a higher part of you. A higher dimensional self wants to talk to you and give you a gift. This is a gift of a recognition, a hint, information, a picture of your gifts, of what it is you're passionate about, that you want to bring into this world. And so go ahead and just receive this gift. Moving into the chamber, finding the light that is you, communicating with this higher manifestation of your soul, and just receive this gift so you have information, better direction of where in the heck you're headed in this 2016. And go ahead and receive that gift and any other information that wants to come forward about that. And just imagine this gift as you hold it and you know it, that it turns into light, a golden light, and you can just put that into your heart, receiving an energy wave to help support your heart chakra activation, your permission for heart-centered consciousness, and your permission for a life of purpose that matters, that has meaning, that's alive and active in the creative energy. What is your medicine you want to bring to the earth? And just receive that into your heart on an energetic level. Allow that to give you security, reaching deep down in your being into those roots. Some part of you knows who you really are and what you want to do here. And so the conscious part of your mind doesn't need to worry about it too much. Just feeling into the energy of the potential that is you, what you really want to express on the earth in this time. And just receive. And grounding that out into your roots, grounding that light, giving a gift of this light in your heart to Mother Earth. Feel her carrying you and holding you. A level of trust in this existence that you've never before found. The joining of the support of Mother Earth and your knowing that you're here for a reason. And just allow that communication to happen. Paying attention to your electromagnetic field out around your body that's created by your heartbeat. And then imagining the electromagnetic field of the earth, and allow those roots to start melding together, knitting together your electromagnetic field and that of Mother Earth as you join in oneness and come home to Mother Earth Gaia in this moment. Just feeling yourself completely held in this existence, just floating, nothing to worry about, leaving everything behind, all concerns and cares. There's only this now moment right here, right now. And feel the light that you've received in your heart, feeding the grid of Mother Earth. Is that what we're here to do? Is it that simple? And just breathe together with Mother Earth and everyone else who's connected into Earth's energy field at this time. Anybody else paying attention to this powerful new moon energy in Capricorn, creating a new spiritual authority right here, right now. It's based on interconnectedness and trust in the process. And just receive and send out an energy wave into this grid of this new spiritual foundation, interconnectedness and trust in the bigger picture. This is our new spiritual authority. So what does that mean in your life on a day-to-day basis? Seeing the bigger picture of the whole and trusting in the bigger picture. What does your life look like when you live from that heart-centered place? Seeing yourself moving forward on your path in the cosmic flow. Continually remembering the meaning behind what's happening, that there's so much more than what we see. And we get trapped into the narrow existence of our karmic situations. If you can stop right there and say, wait a minute, this is a gift for me in my spiritual evolution, and I'm going to honor it. I'm going to honor the bigger picture so I can move on to the next one and not get stuck. This is a year, the mutable energy of this year is really powerful to keep us moving and shaking on our spiritual path, keeping us flexible and open to new ideas. Really key as our belief systems change and change again overnight. We still have this level of deep security and trust in our connection with Mother Earth, our interconnectedness to the whole, and the knowing that there's a bigger reason why we're here. Just feel yourself receiving that energy wave and giving it out back again into the grid. We're on an amazing journey together. And it all makes sense when we see the bigger picture, our interconnectedness, and trust that our gift is needed on the planet, and the structures are coming to help us support this, bring forward who we are and what we have to offer. That's what makes this time work. When you feel like you're on your path, your own spiritual authority path, not anybody telling you you can or you can't, that's the energy of the old. You're the only person that's ever been able to limit you. Just go ahead and sit with those words, receive an energy wave to release whatever comes up. You can decide right now that you no longer need to limit yourself and play small. You no longer need to be scared of your own power or a limit to your own spiritual authority. And just feel that freedom as you take off this cloak and move deeper into the light, deeper and deeper into still point, into the very center of you, through the heart, where there is no polarity, deeper and deeper into still point, into absolute connection, awareness, and truth of the cosmic whole. Just feel yourself floating in that expansive space. Everything is handled. Everything is perfect in the bigger picture. Just relax and release into that heart-centered consciousness, receiving an energy wave to help support the process of moving deeper and deeper into the stillness, the inner knowing, the great Lord within. You're remaking in this Capricorn energy. Not some punishing God out there, but the God that lives in your heart. And just move into it. Move into this deep level of peace and trust in the bigger picture. You need no authority outside of yourself, and it's no longer, you no longer deserve or need the punishment of that authoritarian God. Just feel the freedom. Just imagine the shackles that have been on you physically, experiences you've had in lifetimes that have been this energy of God punishing you, this energy of you punishing yourself because you failed God. All that is just wash away. Just feel those shackles, everything energetically that holds that in your field. Just let it wash away and just imagine a beautiful waterfall of energy coming with that Mars and Scorpio, just bringing renewal and release and clarity and a willingness to look at the truth. And the security that that brings. So at the core of all this is a new level of security, and it's not about, having that high-paying job and the car you want and the house and all your bills paid. This is not that level of security. We're ascending on a planet, spiritual security, and just move into this deep level of spiritual security and trust that's available to you on this Capricorn new moon energy. And just see yourself as a pendulum swinging back and forth from the old to the new, visiting the old belief systems, the old patterns, and moving into the new and settling somewhere in the center of the heart. We are stretching and changing our belief systems in order to settle on something that's going to work for us. Our own spiritual authority. And just breathe that into your whole field. This new foundation that you've built for yourself, the roots of the tree that know who you really are, what you really are, how potent and powerful you are as a co-creator in this experience, and how joyful the experience ahead will be when you're able to implement your gifts. So in this time of rapidly changing beliefs, there's an available stability to you that you have anchored in to your being today in this moment. So go ahead and complete your journey, your experience, but remember that you have this new level of security, new roots, new understanding, new trust available to you at any point in time when things are confusing and upside down, back and forth over this 2016 year of the monkey and all of this planetary change. Those of us who have found this level of spiritual stability are going to be a great help to other people as we go through these massive changes. So go ahead and pat yourself on the back for getting this far in your process and being available to yourself and others on the level that you are because of the work you've been doing in the last few years. Just take a few deep breaths as you begin your journey back, bringing with you your roots, your electromagnetic connection with Mother Earth, your awakened heart chakra, and your new information about what in the heck this whole experience is about for you. What do you want to bring to this world? And just breathing into that. We're subject to the laws of karma. We're subject to the laws of this old authoritarian God as long as we play by those rules. But once we tap into the unity, the heart, then we move out of that and we're working with pure creation energy. How do you want to use creation energy in your life? Just breathing that empowerment, the feeling of really using your gifts in this life, in this body, in this time around. Just feel that feeling. Let that just receive a whole reset on your whole being, cell by cell, that is supporting you feeling like you're really living. Just taking a few deep breaths, keeping that peace with you, keeping that heart center consciousness as you come into your everyday consciousness, into your body, into the room that you're in, completing your journey, but taking your time if you'd like to stay and linger in this journey as long as you'd like. Just gradually coming into your room, your space, your body, wiggling your fingers and toes, coming back to your everyday awareness, but holding with you these cellular resets of a new spiritual foundation for the truth of who you are in your individual gifts. And a trust and a deeper knowing that no matter how weird 2016 gets, you know there's a bigger picture. And when you're part of that bigger picture, bringing the creative energies to the earth, all of the issues go away. Everything's better. Just go ahead and set your course towards that reality, creating a structure that can support you in your most activated creative self, your most fulfilled. That is your spiritual purpose. That is your gift to the world, is your excitement and energy and presence with what you bring in your interests. Just going ahead and taking a few deep breaths, keeping that peace, keeping those roots, keeping that electromagnetic connection to the earth, enjoying this new moon energy, enjoying any other information that wants to come forward over these next few days as this activation is ongoing. And so just go ahead and when you're ready, you can open your eyes, come out of meditation. So thanks so much for joining me on this activation, this Capricorn new moon. And I love the idea of this new stable self, that the stability comes not from knowing that we have what we need, but from knowing who we really are and what in the heck we're doing here. So I wish you the best 2016 and year ahead. Until next time, namaste.